So students, I came up with this little explanation on a roadside stand as a measure of revision. Roadside Stand, a poem from class 12th written by Robert Frost, an American poet, and he is introduced over here. He wrote most of the times about characters, people and landscapes. His poems are mostly concerned with human tragedies and fears, and this particular poem also is concerned about the tragedy and the struggle and the helplessness and the sorrow of the roadside stand people who sell some little things by the side of the roads, by the edges of the roads, so that people may come and buy things from them. You must have read a very interesting, a very good and amazing poem, Mending Walls, as well, by Robert Frost earlier in your previous classes. But let's go into this particular poem where Frost actually presents the lives of poor, deprived people with pitiless clarity and with the deepest sympathy and humanity, because he has got such sympathy that he feels the same pain as those people, the poor people from the village at the roadside stand are feeling. So the question is, in the very beginning, have you ever stopped at a roadside stand? What have you observed there? Naturally, you have stopped at roadside stand. People sell fruits, vegetables, nitty-gritties, little things, collectibles, some buckets of plastic, some squash bottles and things. So without any further ado, let's get started with the poem. The little old house was out with a little new shed in front at the edge of the road where the traffic sped. You could obviously see the rhyme over here. Shed, sped. So this is a description of the little house which these people have, and where they have erected this stand. A roadside stand that too pathetically pled. I would sure like to dwell upon this little important phrase. Pathetically pled. Pathetically pled. They are pleading pathetically. Pleading, they are saying, please buy something from us. They are asking whom? The rich people who are passing by in their cars, in their polished cars. And they are being pathetic. Pathetic means which evokes pity. जिनको देख के तरस आए. So pathetically pleading. But for some of the money, the cash whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. Now this is a material for the question. You look at it carefully. This line, I might read it again. मैं दोबारा पढ़ता हूँ. But for some of the money, the cash whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. And before these two lines, the poet says, it would not be fair to say that they are asking for alms, asking for dole of bread. Dole of bread means are they begging? No, they are not begging. They are asking for some cash in exchange of their little nothings. They are not beggars. So dole of bread is actually a figurative device. It would not be fair. The author accepts, the poet accepts, and he tells us as well. Don't consider them as beggars. Do not ever call them beggars, because they are not begging for any bread, that is any money in exchange for nothing. They are not spreading out their arms before us. No. Actually, they ask for some money, but that money, that is the cash, which they themselves have sent into the city in some other form. Now, this is a very important question coming, out of these lines. They say that we are from village, right? We are from village, and we deserve some money back. We are the ones who sent raw materials to you. The villagers are saying, these pitiful, piteous, poor people helplessly are pleading us, pleading the rich people, pleading the city people, pleading the car owners, we are the ones who have sent raw material from villages to your cities. And we have sent human resources, urbanization, the migration into cities. So the raw materials have gone from the villages, the fruits, the vegetables, and all the crop, the plantations, even the human beings. They shut their shops and go into the cities to earn some precious little money to open a new business, you know. And what are we getting in return? So, what are we getting in return? So, that is why it is said the cash whose flow supports the flower of cities from sinking and withering faint. Without us, without the villagers, without the raw materials, without the human resources from the rural areas, from the poverty stricken rural areas, without the rural people, your cities would sink and wither faint. That means flower represent prosperity. The prosperity, flowers are the symbols of prosperity. The poet uses this word as a symbol of prosperity. It represents the prosperity of the cities, the affluence of the cities. He is speaking the language of the rural people, the roadside stand people. He's saying, without us, you would not be earning anything. Your flowers will sink and it will wither faint. Wither faint means it will lose its color. It will wither away. Wither away means lose all its blossom. सिकुड़ जाएंगे, मुरझा जाएंगे आपके फूल शहरों के. So we are asking nothing as a favor from you. We just are asking our due back. Okay, let's move on. Or if ever aside a moment, well, I missed a line here. The polished traffic passed with the mind ahead. Now, children, this line tells us the attitude of the city people, the passers-by, those rich, polished people, the sophisticated people who think they are bigger than those rural people. They are polished and they pass by. They have a mind ahead. They don't have any mind on their own on these people's pleadings. So they have other destinations on their mind. So with the mind ahead. But what happens to those city people? Does anybody stop by and buy things that these rural people are asking for? No, not at all. Look at this. The polished traffic passed with the mind ahead. Remember, students, a very important device, polished traffic. The traffic cannot be polished, but this is a very important figurative device. Polished traffic. You are not polishing the traffic. Well, the traffic represents the city affluence, city prosperity, the city lights, the city cars, and they seem like polished. Means it is a transferred epithet. As I discussed about, transferred epithet, a device used over here. Here they say the polished traffic passed with the mind ahead, or if ever aside a moment, then out of sorts at having the landscape marred with the artless paint of science that with N turned wrong and S turned wrong, offered for sale wild berries in wooden quarts, or crook-necked golden squash with silver warts, or beauty rest in a beautiful mountain scene. I might tell you what actually this tells us. The kind of things that they sell are wild berries in some wooden containers, golden squash, it's a kind of village fruit. So golden squash is a kind of a golden colored fruit with silver warts. It has got a silver wart at one of its end. Well, it's a fruit, to be very broad. Remember this, berries, golden fruits called squash, and sometimes they sell beautiful sceneries also, which they think, these rural people think are beautiful, but the city people are not at all bothered by them. They think it's ugly, it destroys the scenery. Okay, now if you just move a little back, you would see some devices over here. which I would want to emphasize on. Very interestingly, you have this important thing, polished traffic, which I just talked about. It is a transferred epithet. The polish word, this polished as an epithet or as an adjective, is transferred from its rightful noun to another noun where it seems actually inappropriate. Like you cannot polish the traffic. Traffic means the affluence of the city, affluence, the prosperity, the modernity of the cities. Polished means they are sophisticated, they are all lights and glamour, all lights around, and the sophistication of this city people. So polished, they are polished in their mannerisms, in their manners, in their behaviors, in their attitudes. They are polished. And look at those rustic rural people. They are rustic. You will not find them uh, any polish on them. They are rusted, means they are not at all polished, whereas the on the contrary, quite the opposite, you have the city people who are polished in their attitudes, so much so that they have stopped caring of those rural people, of the villages, from where they are getting the prosperity. Now they think the landscape is marred. They have this weird idea that this landscape is marred means landscape is destroyed by their roadside stands and the things that they are selling. So these things, and even the directions that they have put in over there, they have hung some directions, north, south, but they don't know the correct direction. So they may have put N, that is north, in the wrong direction. S is pointed wrongly towards now north, and north may be pointed wrongly towards east or west or anywhere, or the opposite of south, but then wrongly directed. So these are so illiterate, uneducated people that they don't know even the directions of north and south. So the city people are carrying a stiff nose, probably अगर मैं बोलूँ तो they are not at all bothered. They look down upon those villagers. So they are very mean. They are very mean, and the villagers have recognized it. So they are complaining. Remember this, it's a complaint of the rural people of these villagers, the poor villagers, against the rich city dwellers. And the traffic is used to depict it, to depict their prosperity. But now they are complaining, why are you keeping your money and going along? This crossly means not in a very happy way. They are upset about this thing. कि क्यों आप हमारे साथ ऐसा कर रहे हो? Why are you ignoring and why are you not bothered about our existence? After all, we are the ones who are supporting your flowers, your prosperity. Otherwise, you would faint, your color would be lost. All the colors and the glitz and the glamour and the razzmatazz of the society, the high society, would all vanish away. You will sink into nothing. You will wither away. Wither away means you will lose all your blossom. Right? And the scenery, you say, is hurt by our presence. Now you're hurt by our presence. Now it is the poet now who takes over and says, the hurt to the scenery wouldn't be my complaint. Who is this saying? This is the poet who is saying that my complaint is, he's talking for the, he's taking a cause. He is taking the cause of these villagers, cause of these village people, of these poor villagers. He is feeling bad for them. He is utterly feeling bad for them. So he is actually he is saying, I am not bothered about the hurt to the scenery, as the rich people go on saying these people should be removed. You know what happens whenever the cars pass by? They stop for a while and they ask for the price of the land. They stop by, but not to buy things. They stop by at times. There is a squeal of the brakes as well. I'm moving a little ahead so as to make sense of it. I'm saying, yes, the villagers do hear the squeal of brakes. Means the cars do apply some brakes. They stop sometimes. They stop. The sound of the stopping car is the squeal of the brakes. Suddenly come halting with the brake. And suddenly we get hopeful. We means the villagers suddenly get a ray of hope. Who knows? अब कुछ खरीदने वाले हैं क्या? But those are the 1,000 selfish cars. Selfish cars again. Do you see a device here? In Hindi you call it alankar. In English you call it figurative device. Selfish cars. There are no selfish cars. Cars cannot be selfish. You understand, as I discussed in the class also. Cars represent the car owners. Again, this is a transferred epithet. People are selfish, not things. Right? So it is a transferred epithet. Transfer of this adjective or this epithet, selfish, from car owners to cars. So car represent the car owners. Cars represent actually the modern society. Because who would buy a car? The modern society, the modern people who would want comfort, who would want upward social status, convenience, of course, comfort, and if they can afford it, why don't buy it? Why not to buy that? So that's what they think. So of the 1,000 selfish cars that pass, there are a few that stop. There are a few cars that stop. But what are the reasons that they stop for? These are the reasons. These are the reasons that they stop for. Just one to inquire. I will highlight that back again. Just one to inquire what a farmer's prices are. Now, this is what I was talking about a little while ago. They just want to know what is the price of the land. I want to buy this to erect a mall, to make a restaurant here, to build a residential colony over here, a flat cluster over here, a high-rise building over here. I want to purchase this land. What's the price of this land? This is one of the reasons. Okay, one reason. Second reason, someone wants to ask the way. The north turned wrong and S turned wrong. So they want to know, भैया रास्ता कहाँ जाता है? Means they're not bothered about what they are selling, what these people, the roadside stand sellers are, what are they selling? But they're bothered about the way. They have lost the way. So they want to know what the way is. Where is that place? Which way goes to that place, wherever they want to go? What is the way? To ask the way. Where that way was bound. Bound means where is it headed? They have certain destination on their mind. Didn't you read last some of the lines back? They have their mind ahead. See, they have their mind ahead. They have their mind ahead. So they have their mind on their destination. And they want to ask the way. That's the second reason why the car stop. The third reason is they want to ask the fuel station. Hey, bhaiya, can you tell us where is the fuel station? Where is the petrol station? Where is the gas station? So we could fill our car's fuel tank. Now these three are the reasons specified by the author that the cars stop, and this all the more discourages these poor village people because their hopes are suddenly aborted, suddenly killed. Okay, oh goodness, is that why they were stopping? And now there's another question which you have asked actually. What is meant by plow up grass? Plowing up grass is simple. When they stop and put in brakes, pull the brakes, then with a sudden halt of the car, sudden stopping of the car, the grass over there is either plowed up. I mean, the grass withers away, it gets uprooted because of the friction of the tires, and there could be another meaning to it. Number one is they stop just in case to ask these three things, but in that bargain the grass gets uprooted, number one, And number second, they want to erect some buildings over there, so they'll have to do away with the grass. Now something interesting comes up over here. If you see over here, now I will get back to our point in hand. Yes, the poet was actually saying that my complaint is not about the scenery which is being destroyed, as the rich people say, but my complaint is, why are you giving them so much sorrow? Why are you giving these people a sorrow which ends up in pain? Why are you converting their trust into sorrow? They have a trusting heart, they trust, but you are converting all that trust into sorrow, trusting sorrow of what is unsaid. They cannot say what they are feeling, their eyes are enough, and ask for some city money to feel in hand, to try if it will not make our being expand. Now this simply means that these people want money so that they can feel expansionism. They also feel expanded. Their inside, their essence, their beings expand. What makes you feel big? What makes you grow big? Money, to start with. Money is a very essential, important entity in lives, which makes you feel expanded, right? But these villagers never feel that comfort of money, cash in their hands. And who are the people, who are the culprits? The party, that is party in power. The moving pictures promise. They promise we will set up some theaters. The politicians promise that they will give this facility, these benefits to them, subsidies to them, uplift their social status, open schools for them, create new jobs for them if they are elected. So they give them false promises. And what do they offer? So that they get votes? They offer false and short-term benefits. So they seem like beneficiaries. These people, the politicians who are giving them false hopes, who are duping them, who are preying upon them, their needs, who are actually the hunters of these people, are referred to here by the poet as greedy good doers and beneficent beasts of prey. Now the beneficent beasts of prey. Now there is a device here, again a figurative device, and I might as well highlight it for you. The greedy good doers, they seem like the politicians, the people in power, seem like people who wish good for them. They do little goods like offering money, offering wheat, grains, and little gains, like we would send you a bank account. We will send 2,000 rupees in each and every person's bank account if we are elected, and such stuff. But they are greedy, so they cannot be called as good doers, and these are contradictory. Greedy cannot be additive to good doers. You cannot put them together, but poet is putting them together. Greedy good doers, they seem to be like good doers, but they are intrinsically, in their hearts, in their minds, these rich politicians are greedy. And in the same way, they are preying upon their needs, but they seem like beneficent. Beneficent means they offer benefits to the rural people. They seem to be like benefiting them, but at the core of things, they are preying upon them. So beneficent praise. There is no such prey, no such hunting which benefits, but these are contradictory, opposite things. You cannot be praying somebody and even benefit the other, but they are doing it. So they are hypocrites, the politicians. And this device is called oxymoron, which I have just discussed. Now, swarming upon their lives, swarming over their lives, enforcing benefits that are calculated to soothe them out of their wits, Now it's a little tricky four lines here. These people swarm over their lives. The rich people capture them, give them jobs, make them bonded laborers in their factories, and make them like robots, make them robot-like. They destroy their sleep so that they cannot think. Out of their wits means they make them numb. So they don't like them to get intelligent. They just want them to be laborers in their factories, and use them for their own benefits. So they're swarming over their lives. Swarming means they are not allowing these rural people to be independent, and they just are murdering their consciences, murdering their spirits. When we talk about sometimes I feel I can hardly bear, this is a poet actually ruminating. He finally, जब poet को लगता है कि अब बिल्कुल ही सहन नहीं कर पा रहा है, तो finally says, I cannot bear the thought of such childish longing in vain. Vain means poet realizes here. The poet truly realizes here that he is longing it in a childish way. He is wishing, but his wish is like that of a child. How can all the desires and unfulfilled needs of these poor people be fulfilled in one day or a small amount of time? It's impossible. So he realizes that he is being childish. He says a childish longing. It's all in vain. Vain means useless. My longing, my wishing is all in vain, all useless. But the sadness I cannot bear, sadness of these people who are lurking through the windows, peeping through the windows, silent suffering. When they suffer, I suffer, says the poet. And that is where the poem actually ends, but it ends on a open end, because there's nothing clear about it. Although there is a subtle hint, the poet says, I can not bear so much of pain of their heart, and that pain of their heart has infected my heart as well. Please gently put me out of my pain, because I cannot bear that pain of their suffering, my pain. But before he goes to say about his pain, do you see another recurrence of this word pain? This one. And this is their pain. So their pain, my pain have become synonymous, have been simultaneous. Ek saath hai. But here he is being, when he talks of their pain, he says, put these people at one stroke out of their pain. Again being childish. He's being childish. He's being actually insane as well. ये वो बाद में एडमिट भी कर रहा है, एडमिट कर रहा है, कन्फेस कर रहा है नेक्स्ट वाली लाइन में. वो कह रहा है, yes, I am being insane in my wish. I am saying, please put these people out of their pain in one stroke. Is this possible? It's not possible at all. It is insane. Insane means madness. This is absolute madness. I cannot expect them to be out of their suffering in just one moment. But I'm so fed up, so frustrated, and so filled with this agony, anguish, this pain, that I want them to be out of their pain in just one stroke. एक झटके में उनको बाहर कर दो. So there is a subtle indication. Probably he says in his insane mind, in his insanity, he says, kill them. Please kill them. If you can't do anything good to them, if you can't lift their spirits, and if you can't do anything for them, if you can't listen to the voice, their suffering voice, if you cannot listen to their complaints, better still, go and kill them. That could be one of the hints over here. And poet later on says, once they are out of their pain, out of their pains, out of this struggle of theirs, please the next day, when I come to my senses, oh goodness, they have come out of it, their pain, but they are no more. So please put me out of my pain as well. He says, I wonder how I should like you to come to me, and I would offer you to put me gently out of my pain. अब मेरे भी इस व्यथा से, इस दर्द से मुझे बाहर निकाल दो, मेरे दुख से मुझे मुक्ति दो, बट दिस टाइम जेंटली. जेंटली मीन्स I cannot bear the pain that I cannot do anything for them. I could not do anything for them. How long should I plead? How long should they plead? But yes, there could be a subtle reference to these people to be brought out of their pain by even helping them, or opening education avenues for them, giving them jobs, or slowly and steadily bringing them into the society mainstream. But you have to be real, honest, and meaningful in your consideration, if for sympathy for these people. So that's it.